Good morning, guys. Welcome, students, professor, and all spectators. How are you? I'm Darshil Bhayani. Yeah, it's Sunday morning, 10 a.m. I know a little bit difficult, huh? Yeah, of course. But we'll make it worth it for you to wake up early in the weekend. So stay connected. Yes. So when actually I thought to talk to you guys, I didn't know like what to say. So but then somehow I thought like what I could want to know if I'm sitting at your place, if I'm graduating, if I'm finding a job, if I'm struggling to solve one lead code or hackering problem, what I should want to know. uh, Even like sometime I might had a question like, okay, does even my academic experience is useful to get a job? I was like, fine, yeah. So, guys, most of such questions you have, I know, and we'll try to address all of them. So, so that's fine. We'll do this thing. So, let me tell you first of all that uh, this session mainly we are focusing on uh, how to uh, how to focus on yourself to find your tech career in tech giants, how to make your way through it. So this is mainly we are going to focus for. So okay, but before that, let me go back to 2008 and let's listen some interesting stories. So yeah, I'll tell you about myself. So I started my engineering in electronics and communication from GEC Bhavnagar. I think that was a first GTU batch for GEC Bhavnagar, and I think it was a really started very first year, new buildings, new school, new classes, new life, excitement. Yeah, right. So it was really cool. So when I started my classes, my just focus was like, okay, go to the class, get some good marks, stay nice, decent, and respectful student in professor's eye. They're gonna help you with the grades, of course. So I was like, okay, that's enough for me to survive. I was like, fine, I'll get it through, but I'll come to this point. But that's not enough. Trust me. But yeah, always. I found computer science field is so cool, interesting, coding, excitement. You write something and let's just happen magically, and it is like okay, that's all. So I was really fascinated from them, and back of like 11 years back, I feel like okay, I like to use computers. My most of the friends does have, and in my college also I have most of the friends from computer science field. So I think that's how I I started I started talking to computer science as a world, and this was my first interaction. Though considering the fact I was from electronics branch, this is some different story. But if I talked about your our university school, that's really nice. I still remember those days when completing assignments in a sitting blocks just outside of class. I still remember those things. Waiting for Viva, uh, having our puff in our cafeteria. That's like so cool things. Which was, I think, that cafeteria was started for us like in fourth year. You are the lucky guys. So, but yeah, and yeah, that stationary uncle. Yeah, that's like really in demand on the Viva day. They're like there's a queue for us behind that stationery shop. So, but yeah, so this is like best memories I have with my school. But so by this, I want to say this 4 years flew like very rapidly. It's like very fast, and I graduated in 2012, and and this is where interesting part comes. Interestingly, I started applying for computer science jobs. Okay, no background, without knowledge, without study. Okay, either I'll get a job. I mean, what's big deal to get a job, right? A degree, a qualification. I do have that qualification. I'm an engineer. What's the difference? It's just like EC and computer science, right? That's the same thing. There's like soft branch. I also did coding. I also had the C programming course. So I felt like, okay, I'll get a job. Okay, fine, cool. I didn't have such questions like this. How to get a job, how to reach to Google or something like. Yeah, I didn't have something in my mind, and this is how I started. Uh, though the fact is, I didn't get a job uh, as a software engineer, uh, and I would not recommend you guys to do this thing. This is literally you shouldn't do. But yeah. So the main thing is, I didn't get a job. To stay in market, I just started working as a selling outbound call service, some marketing job in Ahmedabad for 6 months. And I don't know why I started job, but I think, yeah, I just wanted to stay outside of my home and stay in market. So I did that. Then after 6 months, I realized like, okay, I don't, I cannot continue this, and I just came back. But by the time I was decided, like, okay, I want to do something in my computer science field, some software engineering. I liked the way it attracts me. I liked coding, and I like to start working on it. So there was pretty clear. But one thing, I didn't have the basic thing, knowledge. I didn't have that. So I learned C and C++. That was the only course I can do outside of the university, and just uh, did it. And then I started like, okay, let me try it again to apply some job with the software engineering. I did it. And the path from this wasn't easy. Yeah. So in Ahmedabad and Baroda, I tried or started looking for jobs. Started looking for a job in a software engineering field. I just got the print of my resumes and tried to reach out to each and every companies. So I was literally listing all companies, their phone numbers, and just talk to them in the morning. Yeah, I had done this, and also like I have bluffed even. Trust me. Like I'm saying like, okay, one of my friends said like, okay, you have a opening for this software engineering person at your company. I'm really interested for this. I was literally doing that, and what worse can happen? Just they will say no, right? But what if they say yes? There will be a chance, right? So yeah, I did something. I also went to the companies to list to hand over my resume. Sometime I don't know what they will do, but I was like, fine, just take a chance, just take an opportunity to do that thing. Um, by doing this thing, one day I got a call from one of the company from Baroda Informatics Private Limited, and I got an interview. They said like, okay, you can come next day, tomorrow, 9 a.m. I was like, fine, okay, I'll come. And they asked me about Baroda barcode based authentication system. So that is mainly that I project worked on in my last academic year. So trust me, education helps, of course. And they interviewed me one coding question: how to get the power, how to get the result of x power to y. So I was like, fine, okay. I did it by three ways. Like, okay, using for loop, of course, using while loop. I just changed the logic, modified the logic, and I was just aware about the C and C++ at the time. So I use a power function. But the important key file is key point is to I did it in multiple ways. So yeah, and some other project related question they asked me, and they talked with me for like entire 1.5 hours, 1 hour and 1.5 hour. And I was like, after after coming downstairs, I called my mom, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get this job. I mean, they roasted me badly, but yeah, luckily I got a call. I got an offer with this company, which was very small. I think 10 people for an entire company, but started my career as a software engineer. This was the first moment for me to start my life as a software developer, though I was an electronics guy. So something, I had something which actually helps me to motivate to do something, to connect with laptops, coding, and such stuff. Uh, but yeah, that was that. Uh, during this journey of BIPL, Baroda Informatics Private Limited, I learned Java. I again joined the course in with Aptech Technologies, and I had this knowledge. So during that time, so I want to say here that learning is a key. Whatever you do, whenever you do, I mean, you can't grow without learning. If you stop learning, you are like stuck at that moment. You are like stuck in that era. So you must have to keep learning and keep growing. So that's what I feel. And okay, let's back to my story. Then I interviewed with various companies to change a job. I switched a job in Ahmedabad in Elite Core Technologies, where I worked for 6 months, and then again I changed back to Pune for MDocs. Now I think I was in a situation like okay, uh, where my career as a software engineer has started growing. Is like on a rock. Like okay, I'm gonna doing it. Yes, of course, but of course. So let me tell you here. Like okay, uh, the path until this it was not easy. Like okay, I started my first job in Baroda Informatics Private Limited with very few salary, which is like 8,000 per month, and I started growing. And I actually, at the end at MDocs, it after I think 4 years, it just happened to be four times or even like more, I guess. Yeah, 5 to 6 times whatever I started. So I would say it takes like 4 years for me to keep it like okay, four times fold or something like that, right? So I just want to say. Uh, Sometimes you see in the Bollywood movie or like some series is like a boy become a rich and it has like big house and a car and everything. So it just doesn't happen overnight. Yeah, trust me. So this all thing happened in between that. But yeah, so I just want to say like okay, I somewhere I felt like okay, I want some financial stability for myself, and that's why I changed the job back and forth. And of course. During this entire process, I didn't get a job in the first time. I had like thousands of interview together, back and forth every day, and that was actually takes a lot. And here is one important key, like failure. Failure is a step, I think, towards the success. Uh, so I think ex-founder of Apple say like, okay, stay hungry, stay foolish. So what does it mean? Like, okay, stay hungry means um, you have that hunger to know more, to move ahead, to move forward, and stay foolish. That means you are doing the things which you mean like okay, you don't know. So you are like finding n number of other ways to do that thing. So there is a saying for some reason. Yeah, of course. So this is how I started my journey. And then after I went one of the first my out of India trip, Dubai. And at that time actually I realized like okay, how outer side world looks like. What is the value of an employees? What is the value of culture? And that's how I started feeling that desire to move out of India. So I think that was the first time when I felt like, okay, I should go out. I want to work with company outside of India. So 2017, I I applied for a few of the universities, and sorry, uh, and I applied for the masters at Santa Clara University in USA, California. So this is the time when I came USA. Okay, here the life at US is not easy. Of course, it just looks so great, and I would say there is a saying like, okay, the grass is always greener on other side. So that means whatever you see from your eyes or your point of view, that's not always the same. And this is not, trust me, this is not only my story. This is for like all students' story here. Uh, so I work in cafeteria, and of course here, whatever you see in movies, like okay, they are serving coffee, making coffee. That's true. Okay, so I did that part, and but yeah, there's of course a growing part. You just step forward. Uh, so you're working. Then after I started working in the information desk in library. Okay, this for I want to do it for my monthly expense accommodation, because I wanted to stay on myself, and I don't want to get anything from my home. So this is what the chance. This is what I have to do, and I think everybody is doing that. So that is fine. But okay, working on campus, preparing for an interview, uh, cooking 2 meals a day. That's really important part, and studying, completing the assignments. This is what I think each and every students in California or USA does this thing. And trust me, guys, you are like so lucky. You don't have to cook. You don't have to work. You have like plenty of time to explore so many new things. So use this time wisely. So then after, I got an internship with Tesla. This is one of the biggest electric car making company in the world. This is how I stepped into the first professional world outside of India. I would say that's really good experience. It's amazing working with the company where actually uh, the company name and the company profile and whatever you do, that has an impact on the million of people. So I think the Tesla's car right now on the road around the globe. So I would say I'm proud of saying the thing like, okay, I have done something which has a contribution to that, of course. And yeah, so there was an internship for 4 months, and then after I started preparing for full time again. Now here is a main important part. uh, I realized like, okay, uh, how much you will prepare, how much you will strive to know more, and whatever your knowledge of excellence or knowledge of coding and everything, that's how much you will get. So what I mean by this, uh, let's say if you have x amount of knowledge, then let's say if your interviewer has x amount of knowledge, then like they will say like, okay, of course you're a good guy. But let's say uh, interviewer has a more knowledge and you have a less knowledge, then they might say no, like, okay, this candidate is not up to the mark. So that means if you want to have a good team, best team, then you have to lift up your knowledge to that level. So that is how I think people are. I feel you should prepare. Let's say you're preparing up to the preparation of Google, then you will get to Google. But you're preparing for some other company, you might not be able to reach to Google, so, or some Yahoo or some other big tech giants. So this is what I feel. But okay, so I got a job with Expedia. Then after as a full time, and that's the world's biggest platform for traveling. And I was happy. I was happy with this thing. And here's the case. That's where my friends comes into the picture. Actually, my most of the friends got a job in Bay Area, which is in California, and my job was in Seattle. Uh, so people who doesn't know, this is two different state, and yeah, I just had to travel to another state for my job. So then my friends asked me like, okay, you can try to find job in Bay Area. I was like, fine, okay, I'll give it a try, and I applied for another three companies. I got an interview, and one of those was Yahoo. So Yahoo's interview was not easy. So I have interviewed with Yahoo, uh, first telephonic, which is like 1 hour straight coding round interview, where actually you need to write a code properly on one of the editor, the code pad or something, and then they have an on-site interview. So that is how here interview process works. You have one or two telephonic round, and then you have an on-site interview, which is like 5 round of interview back to back. So let's say you are going to some of the team, they have their 4 to 5 engineers which who gonna interview you on back to back 1 hour as a easily. So that is how interview process works. And I interviewed with Yahoo, and trust me. So last two interview, I was like totally exhausted because I was interviewing since 11 a.m. and I was literally exhausted at 3:30 p.m. My still interview was until like 4:30, and I still remember last interview 3:30 to 4:30. I'm like, okay, I'm real tired, but I have to do this. So I gave an interview. I tried to give my best, but I was like so tired and I don't know how I'm performing, but I performed. And after that, again, after coming downstairs, I felt like, okay, I wanted to cry. Like, okay, I'm not gonna get this again. I mean, this is so terrifying because I literally performed bad. I felt so, and no, I didn't have any expectation. But the next Monday, I got an email from Yahoo. You are hired as a software engineer. And then that was a moment when I felt like, okay, this is all what I have did, all preparation, all hard working that got paid off. And that's the company where I'm currently working for. So currently I'm working with the one of the largest internet companies, Yahoo. So that's how I started and I had my journey so far, the software engineer, from electronics and communication guy to computer science field master student and working as a software engineer at Yahoo. So that's how it was. Uh, so yeah, so it's enough for me. You had a good story, but yeah, I mean, there are like various processes where you where you feel like, okay, I'm stuck at this moment and I don't know how to move ahead as a student. But before that, I have one question. Do you, any of you thought about like why do you want to join a tech giant? Why do you want to join this company? Let's say Yahoo or Google or Amazon or Microsoft or Apple. Why? So I had a thought about it. Uh, that means you need to be in a room of people where you at least half of them are more smarter and intelligent than you. That means you have an opportunity to grow, to learn, and also you have an opportunity to mentor and leadership. So I think you must be in a room of people where you can learn. Of course, that's a very important part. And in tech giants, all companies are have does have this environment. So they are like full of diverse people, diversity, uh, different mindsets, different thought process, different ideas, all execution. And I think those are the pillars of Google, Yahoo, Amazon, or any of the tech giant, because that's how the company works. Because they have so many different things for a one problem or a one solution. If there is a one problem, then there are like hundreds of ideas, hundreds of thoughts behind it, and then they will choose the best one. So I think this is one the key role. So I would technically say you're gonna mostly work for like 10, 15 years after your master's or bachelor's as like literal developer. Then after, like, okay, your life is easy. Like, okay, managing, uh, I wouldn't say easy, but yeah, you are not gonna do coding, or you're not gonna like literally code or literally giving interview like this what you're doing right now, or you might. uh, but this is a time where you need to shine, you need to grow, you need to achieve the best name for a resume for your life. So I think when I say that like 10 to 15 years, that means if you're spending like 3 years in a one company straight, that means you have like 3 to 4 companies to change in your beginning career. But over the time, of course, there is more competition, more students, more technology in the market. So I would say one technology stays in the market for 5 years. That means if you want to just stay with this updated knowledge, you have like 5 years to perform well somewhere, to get some good company, get some good name. So I would say in initial time, this is the only time when you can achieve something good, where you have to be part of some tech giant. So I would say, yeah, this is the time. And I would say some filmy view. I would say, how many of you have watched the movie Tamasha? I think most of you had, right? Yeah. So there's one dialogue. Uh, like, why do you want to live some mediocre life? Like, okay, why? So I would say this thing: when you're working as a software engineer, why you don't want to work as a tech giant in a tech giant? Why you want to work in some uh, company where, of course, you can grow, you can learn, but when there are opportunity, when there are companies where you can grow more, why you don't want to target those companies? So I think this is where I want you to proud yourself later in life, not your friends, not your teacher, not your parents, but first of all you. Then of course they all will be, but first of all I want you to proud yourself, like, okay, I achieved this thing. I I like this thing, and I had put in good effort to earn this, and I did that part. So this is why what I feel like, okay, you should um, aim or target for some tech giants, which are the names I just said. But okay, I'm a new freshman, new student, come out of the college just now. How will I get it? Okay, how? Of course, I also had this question, but I've tried to figure it out over the time with an experience. I don't want you to figure out that way. If you just follow that way, I feel like, okay, it's gonna be helpful. I'm not gonna say like, okay, you're gonna get job with Google or Yahoo or Microsoft or Facebook, but of course that's helpful, 100%. So okay, what's the path to that? How to become that geeky guy? uh, so yeah, first of all, I would say understand the process, break it down in a task, and achieve it. So by this, like, okay, if you want to reach from 0 to 100, you cannot go in one go, right? You have to start it, like, okay, from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on until 100. You cannot reach by 0 to 100. So this is where you have to figure out the steps, and that's the important part here. So first thing, I would say, break down your task here. Here, yeah, if you guys want to just take a note, you can do it. uh, I can also share it then, but this is the first part. Break down your task of the day, plan it, try to achieve it, because here you will start predicting, like, okay, what you want to achieve in the day, how, what do you want to achieve at the end of 1 month, 1 year, 6 months, or whatever. So start organizing those things. Just list down, like, okay, you want to finish this 4 tasks in this day, and then if you are not able to finish it, find out the reason why you were not. S- Find out the distraction, if there is anything. Just work on it, and just try to try to predict, like, okay, how can you reach to that level. So this is one important part. Second thing, uh, important part, sharpen your skills. By this, study and knowledge is the key. That's the important part. So yeah, so here actually I remember one sentence. In my master's class, we have a professor like Professor Tran. So he's a Chinese origin, and he was a really sharp minded algorithm professor. So in each of their first class of entire quarter, he always says one sentence. You take your resume to the company, to the interviewer. They just turn around the resume, put an algorithm problem. If you're able to solve it, you are hired. You are hired. You get that job. But if you are not able to get it, you will not get it. So that means your education grades doesn't justify you. Your qualification doesn't say what you want, what the company wants, but your knowledge about specifically uh, solving the coding challenge and solving the algorithm problem, that is the must. That is the first one. So of course, uh, to this, start preparing for an interview, and it should not be the case you are preparing when you are getting an interview. So spend time on lead code, Code Chef, Hacker Rank, and so many other books like Cracking the Coding Interview Skills, R.S. Agrawal. There are some aptitude and other exams in India. Of course, I know that thing. So start preparing. Okay. And one another thing, prepare hard. Prepare hard for your goals, for a result, and for your dreams, because you gonna have to protect it. Once you have that thing, you have to work it for you. So and sometimes actually you can find the reason to do something. So let's say some people, some family has a situation, financial condition, your friends, your education loan. There are like n number of reason what makes you motivate to 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 work hard to achieve something. That's the really important part. So find the reason for you. Like, okay, what makes you really hardworking? That's the key one. Okay. So let's move to the next part, which is I would say working on resume. Yeah. So I think in India, I have seen this thing. We are not much focused about resume and what we are spending, uh, what we are writing about ourselves. So I think why it is important. So I would say there are 6 seconds. 6 seconds it takes for recruiter or hiring manager to screen your resume and to decide that they want to move forward with you or not. So that is the only time if they highlight or their eye catches something which they are looking for, then they will uh, go further for the interview process. So I would say highlight your skills, experience, academic projects, and just specify your objective, why you want that job, and there are like so many important things. So uh, so these are like you should focus in your resume. But yeah, of course, as I said, um, academics are important. Keep focus on that. Yeah, just don't take it lightly. And that is also equally important. uh, Try to I would recommend to all of the students who are in a call, try to contact your professor or placement sales to review your resume, which is a very vital key for your careers. To screen your resume to get your interview. That is really important part. So I would say just do that. Now, now there's the important key. It's like, okay, you got knowledge, I assume. You worked really hard. Now you have best resume. You have asked your professor 5 times to just go through it. And then what? Then let's get ready for failures. Okay, yes, correct. Let's get ready for failures. Face failure, learn from it. Correct. So what does it mean? Apply for interviews, apply for companies, just find the trend, how they're applying, what are the companies hiring. Just try to uh, uh, send as many application you as you can. As you say, like, okay, if you're doing like 10 application, you might not get a call from single one because they might not looking for something you have. So just keep as many application as you can. Just keep applying until you get a job. So I have just something on my mind, like the students who are looking for internship. I think they should start their preparation for before 6 months. And the students who are in third year right now in the computer science field, they should spend the 30% of time to send an application, online application through Naukri, through Monster, or any of the Naukri websites, right? So 30% for application, 50% for learning algorithm and coding, and 20% for college assignments and exams. So I think I would say this thing because by this okay I mean here I just want to say 20% of the college assignment. That means you have to also equally give the preferences. And if you have exams and if you have some deadlines, you have to focus on that, of course, first. But my main objective to say here, you have to spend more time in coding and learning algorithm and practicing that thing. So you remember, right? 30% application, 50% learning, uh, and 20% coding assignments. That 50 and 20 can vary. And if you are in fourth or final year, I would say 40% application, 50% learning algorithm. You should not stop learning. You should keep learning as it is. So this is very important. And 10% college assignments and exams. Here I want to say again, there are not much college workload in the last year, final year. I know that thing. So you can vary accordingly, but don't reduce the time on practicing algorithm and coding. This is a really important part. So this is what the thing is. But here is the main thing. First 10 interviews, you are going to fail. Yes, you are going to fail. That means you are failing and learning from it. What you need to work on, what the company needs to you to hire them. I mean, what company needs something that can help them to hire you. So that means you are giving interviews to learn what you need to prepare, what you need to work for. That is important. So I think these all things are coming with a high probability of failure, and you should not stop here. This is a very vital part of interviewing. Okay, but now again the question: you you prepared, your resume is good, you failed, but how can you get interviews? How? You need to make a connections. So what does it mean by you have to connect with people professionally? So there are LinkedIn is a connection platform for professional. Of course, everybody knows here. Whoever doesn't know this LinkedIn, you can check out. Uh, there I would say connect with the software engineers. Let's say if you want to work with a company as a Yahoo, just search software engineer at Yahoo and try to connect with them. And also try to connect with manager or directors of tech giant. Don't hesitate. That's fine. What they're gonna do, they're not gonna accept your request, right? That's all. Fine. Just let it be. So you send your request, you do your part, you give your efforts. That's all. And once they accept your request, try to talk to them. What is interview process? How the work culture is in the company? How much work opportunity as a new joiner can get? What kind of work experience they can get? And sometimes if somebody is like very nice to you and you have that connection, you have that real bond in a conversation, just try to ask for the referral. That's okay. Sometimes they feel like, oh, you're really excited and enthusiastic about the work, they will refer you. They will say like, okay, I can refer you. And that's where you get a chance to interview with that company, of course. And in that case, they'll not spend 6 seconds to screen a resume. They will actually go through the resume with each and every details. So trust me, do that thing. That helps. Another thing, connect with recruiters. By this I want to say, talk to them about your work experience, your or academic experience, or whatever you have, uh, and check their website, their company's website, open positions. Try to note it down and just try to talk to them. Like, okay, let's say, hey Maria, uh, do you know about this position? I'm really excited about this, and I want to go further with this position if my profile suits it. So yeah, there is nothing harm, right? What will happen? They'll say no. Okay, this fine. There's nothing harm to ask, but right? There are the chances to what if say she say yes, you can get an interview. So try out all these possibilities. And actually this also helps sometimes to get a job in recession time, uh, to find a better company, some better payroll pays, financial rise, and to grow you as an engineer. There are like a lot of benefits, not just to get an interview, of course. So connect people on LinkedIn. Yes, that's a key thing. uh, and now here is a next important part. Now okay, you got a resume, you got a knowledge, you have failed even. Now Now, okay, some point of time you have to pass, right? But you don't need to know that thing. Like, okay, you have to pass. Now, this is, let's say, this final day of your another interview. Okay, I would say, give an interview, forget about it. Yes. So prepare the big day. Just focus on the performance, I would say. Uh, yeah. So here, there are like two people, two kind of people. One, give an interview and eagerly waiting for the answers. Like, okay, what is? I mean, there's a hope. Like, okay, luckily, if I get a chance to work with this company, that's great, right? And you're waiting for that thing. And another people who just give an interview and forget about it. Yeah, someday you will get an email like you're hired. And boom, yeah, it's done. So two type of people. But here is some tricky thing: how to tackle your interview. So here is somewhere you have to play with your mind. Yeah. So this mind actually you have to make it a little bit full. So you have to tell it like this. Okay, this interview is gonna your friend. So this and sometime you can also say that thing. If they doesn't hire you, it's their loss. Yes, of course you know that. But yeah, you have to say that something like that. So once you are prepared and you are not getting that job with that company, then somewhere else, that's fine. I'll get a job. But by saying this thing to yourself, relax you and think efficiently rather than with pressure or of to get an offer. Yes, and I would say interview process is a way of working in a team. So so I would say if you are performing as you are prepared, it's better because that's the small, the trailer of how you're gonna work with the team. So if you're gonna perform in pressure, you can't perform it well. Just take it like a very light day where you're talking with or discussing with your another friend or another professional, but with knowledge, with some intensity of your knowledge, your experience, and you just give it a best shot. So yeah, that's all you need in interview. And don't take a stress. Just perform and be the guy who just give an interview and prepare for another interview again and again until he gets an offer. So so there is a key, final key. So yeah, and one important part, consistency is a key. So now here, you guys are really lucky that you are a computer science engineer, like computer engineer, IT engineer, and software branch people. uh, you have knowledge. It's not like me. You don't have it. You are learning it. uh, so I would say no matter what, you will gonna get a job, of course, but it depends when and where. So that is up to you. So if you are consistent, nobody can stop you to be at Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Amazon, or any Microsoft or any of the big companies. So I would say just be consistent. Just give it your best shot. Just follow the process and just break down your task into n number of tasks, small tasks. Just try to achieve this thing. So this is main important part. I would like to share with you guys uh, some main points which I just shared. Uh, so I can share. Mm, it's okay. So this is one thing I'll share with you. What do you need to focus on? But here is some of the few important part you need to you can do, which I was used to do. One is watch motivational video every day. Like, okay, how to work hard, how to stay focused, and how some of the speeches, like, okay, uh, uh, from people like, okay, Jeff Bezos, which is founder of Amazon, Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft. What these people do, they have also 24 hours only. They don't have more than that time, but still they are like, okay, they are uh, they are making billions of dollars in a year. Just organize your day. And yeah, just try to do it. uh, and when you are when you're doing something, just try to be more focused and more, just try to get more, because you have that hunger, you have that power, you have that passion, you can do it, of course. So yeah. And finally, you got a job. Now what? What's next? Enjoy the moment. Yeah, of course. You have to do it. Uh, so yeah, I guess I remember one instance with this thing. Uh, One of my friend said to me, mm, when I was planning to go to Seattle for one of my job. Uh, so uh, my friend said to me, "Take a break, Darshil. Embrace and celebrate your success because you have earned it. Don't take it for granted. You are living that life which someone is dreaming of. That means you have something which somebody wants to achieve. So just enjoy it sometime." Yeah. And yeah, I mean, just enjoy your time and your hard work and your your efforts, whatever you are paid. So I would say, in summarizing everything, not only enjoy your college time, but also invest for your future. So so you will say sometime like, okay, mom said like just finish 10th and then you have like best life, okay. And your dad said like, we just finished 12th standard, then you have best fun in your life. Then some speaker like me says just finish college education and get the best college, I mean best tech giant company, and then you have fun in your life. Okay, no, I think this is your life. This is the truth. It's gonna be like this only. If you want to get more, strive more, get something best, this is your life. But start enjoying it together. Just start living it. So this is how I just want to end it with, and I just want to remember you can do it. And welcome to the world of competition, my friend. So this is it is. And finally, I want to thank someone here. Few of the people in my life who started, whom I want to start with, like of course my mother and your parents, who are actually always there for anything. They only know like, okay, what are the efforts they are putting for for everything, whatever. Let's say right now the screen which you are seeing and the laptop or computer, they know is like, okay, how much they have to do or spend to get that thing. So yeah, I mean, um, I didn't know like, okay, how I will finish my masters in USA, but that happened. uh, so I would say there is no words to them actually. So your parents are the foundation. Professors, yes, who are in the call. And uh, I would say like this professor who might be really strict to you, who you feel like, okay, they don't like you at all, but they are the only one who will stand for you whenever is needed, wherever. So here, from our university, uh, I would like to say big thanks to uh, Gopal Chauhan, HOD of EC of my time. He supported me either I was not attending my class or being mischievous as a student, but he was there. Unfortunately, he is not with us right now, but I feel like, okay, wherever he is, he's doing great and feeling great. Um, Thanks to all of the professor like Chetan Trivedi, who morally supported me wherever, whenever I needed him on my back. He was there. Dhaval Patel, Dhaval sir, and Janak sir, Janak Trivedi, who taught me, took my classes. Also, they were strict to me sometime, and I thought like, okay, they doesn't like me at all. But unexpectedly, they helped me by giving a reference letter when I wanted to join my master's school in USA. So I would say these professors are not for only 4 years; they're for life. Respect them; they will be there for you always. Yes. And finally, all my friends who believed in me, like, okay, and who inspired me in my life and supported me whenever needed. And I would say don't lose them. Yeah. They are the backbone of your career and life, because when you reach somewhere in a tech giant and you got your first offer letter with the company, let's say Yahoo or Google or some Microsoft, with whom you will share it? With your friends, of course. So don't lose them. And this is how I would say. And of course, I would like to thanks Himadri and other GEC Alumni Connect 2020 team for organizing this session, and opportunity uh, for me to connect with you guys. And of course, I will be always there for you to support you. If you have any questions, yeah, you can reach out to me. And now, whoever is on call, if they have any question, they can ask me. Yes, thank you. So I think Jill has some question. Highlight on personal project and internship for getting into tech giants. Okay, so so there is no anything. Okay, highlight on personal projects and internship. Okay, for me, I think I worked on few of the projects academically. That one of the machine learning project I worked on. Few of the database related projects I worked on, which is in my master's course. But I would say I had my 3 or 3.5 years of work experience back in India before coming to masters. So that actually helped me a lot. So that professional work experience is really helpful. Trust me. So I would say if you're planning for masters, yeah, just have a strong academic background, or sometime just take a break of 1 year. Just start working on professional company, and find out the really important your passion, and then you move ahead with master's course. That's what important. Yes. When choosing a fourth year project, what all aspects we need to consider if we plan to pursue masters? Um, well, let me read it again. When choosing a fourth year project, what all aspects? Uh, yes, so this is important, because this is where actually you are sure, like, okay, which stream or which line you want to move further, you want to go. So let's say you want to go in machine learning, then you must have that foundation. You must have to work on that part. You have to study that thing. So here, just you have your mind clear in from third or fourth year, like, okay, where you want to go, and you have to start working on that direction, on that project. So I just took an example of machine learning. There is a course like, okay, some deep learning, deep neural network. Start reading about that thing. Start getting hands on, going to some uh, open some sessions, open some seminars. Just try to attend that, and then that's how you can do that. How to master data structure algorithm skills and find out patterns of problems. Okay, Harshit, there is a good problem, a good question. So as I told you, just practice is the key. So you have to spend like 50% of your time of your day to learn and to work on the DSS skills. Just try to go on lead code or hacker rank or interview beat, and start doing as many problems as you can. So that's important. Find out pattern. um, I would say um, data structure is the weapon. Algorithm is a kind of war, I would say. So here you can use this many data structure to tackle one of the algorithmic problem. So this is important. uh, you can actually break down your 1 week, allocate it to one of the data structure. Let's say you will make a plan of 13 weeks, 13 data structure. It's a string, array, tree, graph, uh, linked list. Okay, just take one topic in a week and just do it like entirely all week. This is how you can focus on one type of problem very deep. So okay, of course you have like very many problems, like you will face an issue, like, okay, you cannot solve it, you have to read the solution, you try to understand problems. But this is how you can get mastery on one of the data structure type. That's how you will finish your 13 weeks. You have mastery over 13 data structure. Then on a 14th week, once you're encountering only one any of the algorithm question, that's how you're gonna solve it. So this is how you should prepare your DSS skills and problems. How difficult world it be to choose a career in a computer science if you belongs to EC background when you don't have a prior experience? Okay, that's that's really good. And it's really tough, I would say, because I was lucky enough to get a job uh, first time with Baroda Informatics Private Limited. Though I was only knowing C and C++, I really thankful to my manager who was at BIPL, and who actually gave me an opportunity to develop my profile as a software engineer. But I think once you have decided, I think that's all. I mean, you can do it. It's just you have to put more efforts. So I think luck and your efforts can make it. Yes. Which ML project did you work on as your college major? So Arman, here I we we are not encouraged to use a specific library to develop our project on. So we are working with Java, and we are writing our all code from the scratch. So I I worked on some of the algorithm where one of was uh, which I don't remember right now. Mm, okay, my bad. But yeah, I worked on few of the algorithms, and I we tried to implement that thing, and that is where we tried to work on. Yeah. How does a day at work look like at Yahoo? Okay, that's a good question. That's a nice one. We start working around 9 a.m. I generally reach my office. They feed us, of course. They have a food at at my company. We have a breakfast. We have a coffee, uh, and we have different stations where we can get fruits, and we can get snacks. That's a really fascinating or eye-catching thing for our employees. Uh, so that actually keep us working. Uh, then after I just start my work around like 10 a.m. 10:30 we have a stand up where actually we share our update, what we did last day, and how was it, what are the problems or obstacles we found yesterday. And this is what really important to keep entire team connected, what everyone is doing. So this is how it is. uh, then after we start working on our task mainly, and then after, if you have some issue, you can talk to your colleagues. This very open culture. That's like you are talking to anyone. You can talk to anyone. So my director of Yahoo Mail just sits next to me. Yeah, of course. You, if you have any question, you can go and talk to him. This is one of the beauty of this culture. So you can come and you work yourself. If you have problem, you can talk to people. There are like so many people around you. You can find n number of solution problem for your problems. And then generally I have a lunch around 2 or 1:30. Then we sometimes have a coffee around 4:30, and we also have some celebration. uh, so it's kind of a relaxed culture, but it comes with the responsibility. But whenever we are focusing on work, that's like very productive time. I would say in a week we have to, we must have to put our 100%. So that means when we are getting 2 days off, Saturday and Sunday, the 5 days are really hectic. But this is what I sometimes like about the US culture, that it gives you the flexibility to work anytime, to talk to anybody, and to get n number of solution for your problem. And this is how I end my day, and I just come around home at around like 6:30 or 7. So this is how it is. So yes, guys. Uh, okay. There's one more question. How much time do you generally spend coding at your job at Yahoo? Good question. Uh, Mostly, I spend 20 to 30% time of a day in coding. Yes. If you feel like, oh, that's less, I can say no, because that is very important when what you want to code. Of course, it's not like an algorithm problem, right? They're like very large system that is connected internally, and you have to make it work. So, what you have to code, how you have to code, what impact it gonna have on the people, why do you want this feature, and how this other system's gonna work with it, and so many documentation, because your other engineer needs to understand the process, the changes. So you have to work on this main fundamentals of coding. Coding is important, coding is necessary, but these are the all important factors that is connected, and this is how you become a better engineer, not as just a coder. So I would say 20 to 30%, but it is a very important with other factors. Yes. Okay, so I would say thank you guys. Thanks for joining, and yeah, please reach out to me if you need anything, help, any suggestion. If you're pursuing a master somewhere else in India, in US, or somewhere else, or some any issue with this any preparation, just try to connect me. I'll be there for you. I'll help as much as I can. Thank you.